I saw the Lego Movie, which is pretty good, actually. I say pretty good, it was very good. There were parts where I was crying with laughter. I knew I expected big things from it, because I'd seen the trailer and it just looked amazing. But it was even better than I thought it was going to be, which is some accomplishment. Will Arnett as Batman was brilliant, and Will Ferrell works so well as the bad guy as well. Just in general, it was a really good film. It was so funny. So yeah, when I was there, I picked up this magazine, which is the Cineworld official magazine, which tells you about all the upcoming films and all that kind of thing. Sort of thing. For example, on the back it has Tarzan, which is coming out on May the 2nd. They showed the trailer for this before the film, and it looked okay. I'm not majorly excited about it, but it looked okay. What can I say? I doubt I'll go and see it, to be honest. It's basically a CGI, I'm not sure if you can tell. It's a CGI version of Tarzan. Which I don't think they needed to make another one, to be honest. It's just another way for them to get more money, for them to pump out another film. I actually liked the animated version of the film. I especially like the soundtrack, which is amazing, by Phil Collins. I'm such a big Phil Collins fan, so obviously I'm going to like it, but it is generally just a really good soundtrack, I think. Some parts are upbeat, and kind of funky. Does anyone use the word funky anymore? I will. So yeah, some of them are quite funky and upbeat, but some of the songs are quite sad as well. It's just a perfect soundtrack, really. I'm not in the middle here, am I? Where am I going? There we go. So yeah, there's Tarzan. I'm not really, as I've said, I'm not that keen on it, to be honest. I'll start from the front one up. The first film they're showing is Russell Crowe as Noah. Again, I'm not really too bothered about this one. I doubt I'll go and see it, to be honest. It looks a bit crap. The other films are Rio 2. I haven't seen the first one, I'm ashamed to say. the Grand Budapest Hotel. It's that one. And The Amazing Spider-Man 2. These two I am really excited to see. That not so much, and that not at all. I might watch the first one, the first Rio, and see if I fancy it. This one, the Grand Budapest Hotel, says, I can never read upside down, sorry. It says, quirk alert. It's Wes Anderson's brilliant new comedy. And I'm a massive Wes Anderson fan. I know he's a bit like Marmite really, and some people love him, some people hate him. But I'm a big fan of his work, and I love his films. I watched Moonrise Kingdom recently. I thought the two main characters, the main actors, were really good. I usually don't really go for child actors because I don't know. I sort of feel like child actors are overrated because they're children, if that makes sense. You look at people like Macaulay Culkin and who's the other one? The kid from AI and Sixth Sense, Haley Joel Osment, that's the one. And they haven't done anything since hitting puberty, really. And then of course we've got Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I thought the first one was quite a good reboot. I think this Spider-Man works a lot better than Tobey Maguire, who they just went to. Like, Peter Parker is a nerd, but he's not the biggest nerd around like they portrayed him to be in those films. But yeah, I like the first one of this with... I'm terrible at names today. I can't remember his name. I don't know. Anyway, on the first page we have Divergent in cinemas April 4th, which is when my driving test is. And the tagline is, "What makes you different makes you dangerous." And this is the cover. I'm not sure what that's about, actually. It looks okay. Set in London, I'm guessing. I think that's the London Eye, but I may be mistaken. I'm not sure about that one. Hopefully there'll be a bit more about it later on. And the second page basically gives you an insight into the films that are coming out. So I'll read this. It says, "Welcome. The waters are rising. It's been years since we was making a film about Noah with the mighty Russell Crowe in the title role, it certainly got our attention. Biblical epics were a cinematic staple in the 1950s and 60s, with the likes of Samson and Delilah and the Ten Commandments. If anyone can revive the genre, it's Aronofsky and Crowe. Spider-Man has been famous for 50 or so years, a few millennia less than Noah, and yet it's still pretty exciting to note that the amazing Spider-Man 2 is swinging its way into one cineworld in April, with Jamie Foxx as bad guy Electro. Enjoy the mag. And then it shows you what's on this month in film. Next page. It says, I can't do this reading upside down. Sorry. What is this? It says, be afraid, very afraid. Angelina Jolie looks set to give us nightmares with Disney prequel Maleficent. First seen in classic 1959 Disney animation Sleeping Beauty, the mistress of all evil returns in big-budget fantasy Maleficent, starring a perfectly cast Angelina Jolie. The film explores the origins of everyone's favourite evil sorceress. I was terrified of her, yet so drawn to her. Angelina explains, she had this elegance and this grace, and yet she was just wonderfully, deliciously cruel. There's Angelina Jolie there. And that comes out on the 3rd of May. It's called Maleficent. And then we've got Wild Wild West, and it says, it's got a picture of Seth MacFarlane with some sheep, and the brilliant comedic tagline of Seth MacFarlane looks sheepish, which is brilliant. Don't know how they came up with that one. It says, Ted Man, Seth MacFarlane, writes, directs and stars in outrageous comedy A Million Ways to Die in the West. Having made an enormous splash in 2012 with Ted, which in the US became the highest grossing R-rated comedy of all time, Family Guy creator MacFarlane returns with this equally outrageous comedy western. Apart from directing and co-writing the film, MacFarlane also stars as a cowardly sheep farmer who loses his girlfriend after refusing to go through with a gunfight. But after falling in love with a beautiful newcomer, played by Charlize Theron, he finds himself having to man up when confronted with her fearsome outlaw husband in the form of Irish superstar Liam Neeson. The runaway success of Ted has not only helped MacFarlane to grab big names, Theron and Neeson, comes out on the 6th of June. We also have The Legend of Hercules. That's Hercules there. I'll read that as well. I haven't watched the Twilight films. Well, I've watched the first one. But this guy's called Kellen Lutz. I don't know who he plays in Twilight, but yeah. It says, the Twilight beefcake steps into some pretty hefty sandals in The Legend of Hercules. You wait for one Hercules movie, and then two turn up in one go. In a few months' time, we'll see Dwayne Johnson as the fabled Greek hero. But first, brawny Kellen Lutz straps on the armour to play the mythological man-mounting in The Legend of Hercules. He's my favourite superhero, raves Hunky Lutz, who is perhaps best known for playing Eamon Cullen. Oh, I do know who that is. Yeah, ignore me. And that comes out on the 28th of March. I don't know if I'll go and see that, to be honest. Sorry, the phone started ringing. Let's move on. Yves Saint Laurent. It's coming out soon. I doubt I'll go and see that. It's coming out March 21st in the UK. Tagline is genius, rebel, icon, legend. Double page feature on Noah. Rising Tide. It's got a quote. It's got, I think people are going to be surprised by what Noah really means. And that's attributed to Russell Crowe. It's actually got quite an all-star cast. It's got Emma Watson. I love Emma Watson. It's got Anthony Hopkins, Russell Crowe. So yeah. And the director directed Black Swan. Sorry again, it's so noisy in this house tonight. This is why I have to put up with. It's why I don't make as many videos as I used to. The next page is a double feature on The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It says 8 reasons why The Amazing Spider-Man 2 will be one stunning Spidey sequel. It's got number 1, Andrew Garfield, and that's his name. Brit actor Andrew Garfield proved no perfect casting as the gawky Peter Parker in 2012's The Amazing Spider-Man. he says. But now we have the freedom to own the characters and to explore and expand our characters and the relationships. Number 2, the music score. As mad in love as we were over James Horner's score in the first film, Sony couldn't have cherry-picked a better replacement on the second movie than Hans Zimmer. With the German composer now the music man behind Batman, Superman and Spider-Man, he's truly cornered the superhero soundtrack market. Number 3. The coming of the Sinister Six. Since it first appeared in the Spider-Man comics back in 1964, supervillain organisation the Sinister Six has included such names as the Green Goblin, the Lizard, Dr. Octopus, the Vulture, Electro and the Rhino. It looks as if the Amazing Spider-Man 2 will be laying the groundwork for an almighty showdown between Spidey and this motley gang of superpowered bad guys. Number 4, the love story. As we saw in the first movie, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone had fantastic chemistry as Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy. The sequel looks set to continue their touching high school love story. But where is it heading? And could Mary Jane Watson, the other great love of Peter's life, be just around the corner? Number 5, Stan Lee's cameo. Legend. The 91 years young creator of Spider-Man, Hulk, Iron Man, Thor and the Fantastic Four has done a cameo turn in every Marvel Comics movie since 2000's X-Men. What will the twinkly-eyed, nonagenarian be up to in The Amazing Spider-Man 2? Number 6, the Rhino. As if one superpowered foe wasn't enough, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 also pits the web slinger against the Rhino. A former Russian mobster, he volunteers for an experiment which bonds an extra strong polymer to his skin, giving him superhuman strength. I love doing it, infuses the ever-versatile Paul Giamatti, who signed up to be the man in the robotic Rhino suit. It seemed a bit to me like an opportunity to be as over-the-top hammy as possible. 7. The Green Goblin, with a question mark. Will the Green Goblin be making an appearance? We know that the Goblin's alter ego, Norman Osborn, is in the movie, this time played by the brooding Chris Cooper. But will he be suiting up as Spidey's apple-skinned nemesis? William Dafoe played the Goblin in the original trilogy, but if he does indeed appear, we can probably expect a very different take in Mark Webb's Spidey universe. 8. Electro. Who is there? Oscar winner Jamie Foxx plays Max Dillon, a mild-mannered nobody from Oscorp Industries who develops the power to control electricity and who reinvents himself as the villainous Electro. Foxx is one of Hollywood's finest and his casting certainly had some serious star wattage to this Spidey sequel. And I have a short extract on the film. 2 years ago, The Amazing Spider-Man secret successfully rebooted and resulted the most iconic Marvel superhero of them all. Resuited rather not resulted. Director Mark Webb and lead actor Andrew Garfield delighted fans old and new with a fresh and dirty down take on the web-sling's original tale. So what can we expect from the team in The Amazing Spider-Man 2? Without giving away the story, it literally starts with an enormous thing, teases producer Matt Tolmach. This movie is just bigger, brighter, more. We're taking it to heights you've never seen before in a Spider-Man movie. And that's released on the 18th of April. There's a double page feature on Rio 2. I'll read that as well. The feature is called Flying High. Back in 2011, the feathered heroes of animated adventure Rio soared into audiences' hearts. The first film saw City Bird Blue, in brackets Jesse Eisenberg, fall in love with the free-spirited Jewel, in brackets Anne Hathaway. 3 years later, they now have 3 adorable children, Carla, Bea and Tiago. But when it comes to raising the kids, the call of the wild proves too strong for Jewel to ignore. When they realise there might be more of their kind in the Amazon, they embark on this family trip. Director Carlos Saldana explains to Cineworld. So that's how the journey begins for them. With Blue, in Carlos's words, having to bird up. An epic adventure gets underway, with the action moving out of the city of Rio and into the Amazon rainforest. For Brazilian-born Carlos, whose films include the first 3 Ice Age movies, this presented a challenge. Similar to the first movie where I recreated Rio, he explains, I wanted to recreate the essence of the Amazon in the right way. Several old friends return for the sequel, from Jamie Foxx and will.i.am to Kiwi funny man Lemaine Clement as villainous cockatoo Nigel. New faces include Jewel's long-lost father Eduardo, voiced by Andy Garcia. Meanwhile, pop sensation Bruno Mars plays her smooth-talking former sweetheart Roberto. That comes out on the 4th of April. There's a feature on the Grand Budapest Hotel. I'll read that quickly. From the Royal Tenenbaums and the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou to fantastic Mr. Fox and Moonrise Kingdom. Wes Anderson is a director with an unmistakable style that his fans adore, and his latest film, The Grand Budapest Hotel, takes Sanderson's trademark cinematic surrealism to breathtaking new heights. Set in a ritzy 1920s resort hotel in a fictional European nation, the film is awash with gorgeously opulent set design and gloriously over-the-top interiors, and every bit as captivating as the film's visuals is the frankly stunning cast led by renowned British thespian Ralph Fiennes. Famed for his powerful, intense performances on both stage and screen, Fiennes goes completely against type here with a brilliantly funny, crowd-pleasing turn as incorrigible hotel concierge Gustave H. Gustave finds himself in hot water after the death of one of his elderly guests, Madame D. Tilda Swinton. Along with Swinton, Fiennes is backed by what The Independent dubbed one of the most star-studded ensembles in Hollywood history. Regular Anderson performers like Bill Murray, Jason Schwartzman, Owen Wilson, Edward Norton, Willem Dafoe and Jeff Goldblum are joined by the equally impressive likes of Adrian Brody, Harvey Keitel, Jude Law, Tom Wilkinson and C.S. Ronan. Largely filmed in Germany, the movie received its premiere at the Berlin Film Festival last month, and that's released on the 7th of March, so it's already out. I might go and see that soon, actually. There's a bit on Captain America, Winter Soldier, which is released on the 26th of March. And that says, the modern world has come as a shock to Captain America. During Avengers Assemble, he was astonished to find that S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury had not been entirely honest. Now his misgivings multiply when senior agent Alexander Pierce reveals his agenda. Cap finds himself teaming up with the Falcon to take on mysterious new foe, the Winter Soldier. We've also got the Muppets coming out this month. Comes out on the 28th of March. Immediately after the Muppets' comeback triumph in The Muppets, the whole gang set off for a celebratory world tour. They've sold out the biggest venues in Europe's most exciting destinations, including Berlin, Madrid, Dublin and London. But what they don't suspect is that their tour manager, Dominic Bad Guy, or Badgie as he insists, is the sidekick of evil criminal mastermind Constantine, the world's... Sorry guys, I'm going to have to leave it there. I'm not going to get any quiet. My mum's on the phone at the moment and you can probably hear her. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Sorry about the interruptions and everything, they can't be helped. I tried my best. Take care guys, thanks for watching.